Dear students, mm, myself Dr. Narendra Rali, Assistant Professor, Department of Management Studies, VSM College Autonomous, Ramchandra. I'm here to explain you on the concepts of investment, investment management. And in this investment management, we are in first unit. We are in first unit. Now let us discuss the process of investment. Investment process. So what is investment process and all, you will learn in this video. In the earlier video you have learned about the features of good investment and all. So now let us discuss what is investment process. Investment, the name itself says the process or the way in which an investor invests into the securities market. It involves creation of investment policy, choice of asset mix, developing an investment strategy, selection of securities, portfolio execution, portfolio revision, and portfolio evaluation. So now let us have a quick look on these steps. Creation of investment policy. Creation of investment policy, choice of investment policy. What are the investment goals, financial goals, and all? What are in which investment avenues you just want to invest? Develop an investment strategy. Select the securities, which sort of securities you just want to invest. Portfolio execution, portfolio revision, portfolio evaluation. You will now in this video you understood about the entire process of investment. Therefore, in the now let us understand the in detail about the investment process. What is the process of investment? It involves a total of 5 steps, right? Starting from investment policy, second investment analysis and evaluation, portfolio construction, portfolio management and evaluation of performance, portfolio revision. Yeah. What is this? Investment policy. Setting of investment policy. Being the first step in the investment process, we should set an investment policy. Investment policy is for like it depends on the objectives regarding what are we expecting from the investment, that is the return requirement, and how to what percent of the amount that we can tolerate for we can give tolerance, that is risk tolerance, return requirement as well as risk tolerance. So setting of investment objectives is the first step, which considers a return requirement and risk tolerance, and the consideration of liquidity needs. An investor, before setting any of his investment policies, he should see the liquidity need, the consideration of liquidity need in case of emergencies. How much amount that he want to keep it for immediate necessaries or uncertain necessaries. And the next thing, projected time horizon. So what is the time horizon? That is either for the short term or the long term that investment has to be kept. And the next thing is assessment of current and future financial objectives. Financial objectives in the sense like, for example, for a family person, career for a student, financial objectives could be the career, right career planning for a family man, children's education, and then marriage, retirement, etc. That is the financial objectives. So assessment of present as well as future financial objectives should also form on the setting of investment policy. And the second thing, the last thing, it concludes with the investment policy after setting the investment objectives, considering the liquidity needs and projected time horizon and future financial objectives. This step concludes with the identification of potential categories of financial assets for inclusion in the investment portfolio. What are these potential categories of financial assets? Whether he should invest in gold or he should invest in real estate. For instance, in our subject, we are talking about financial investments. Whether that investment should be in shares or debentures, bonds, etc. The second step in the investment process being investment analysis and evaluation. As discussed earlier, this step identification of potential categories of financial assets. In the second step, each, each identified financial asset should be analyzed and evaluated for available for analysis and evaluation. Involves the examination of individual investment vehicles inside each category of investments. So, what kind of analysis that, for example, if I wanted to invest in an equity, I will choose a company. I'll choose, for example, Reliance Industries Limited. So, and I'll choose government Bharat bond or some other debenture instruments. So how should we analyze these things? How should we evaluate these in each of the investment objective? Fundamental for this we have fundamental and technical analysis. So then what is fundamental analysis? The name itself says fundamental analysis is like the basics of the company. What is the what are it deals with the balance sheet. It deals with the operations of the company. It focuses on the evaluation of intrinsic value of the financial asset, which means the present value of future flows from particular investment. Fundamental analysis involves where the financial analysis of the profit and loss accounts and other financial ratios, etc. What is technical analysis? Technical analysis is of analyzing market prices in an attempt to predict future price movements for a particular financial asset traded on the market. So there are people you may come into the you may get into topics like some people talks about like Reliance Industries Limited. Today's market price is 1200. Tomorrow it could be 1500, or it might be decreased. So in order to analyze the price movements, technical analysis is used. In order to analyze the volume of stocks that have been traded from in a particular period, also technical analysis is used. This step involves identifying those specific financial assets which are in which to invest the determining the proportions of these financial assets in the investment portfolios. In the first step, you will be able to know which assets you will be identifying the categories of financial assets. In the second step, you will identify the each asset and analyze you not after identifying you will analyze and evaluate each potential category. After analyzing and evaluating the categories based upon your investment objectives, based upon your investment policy, the next thing is construction of portfolio. This means formation of diversified investment portfolio. Here comes the word diversification. What is diversification? So there is an old saying in finance: don't put all eggs in a single tray. A single tray. Don't put all eggs in a single basket. What happens literally if we keep all eggs in a single basket? They may they may damage. In the same way, if you have in the same way in finance, like for example, if you have say 1 lakh rupee, you don't need to. You are not supposed to keep all such 1 lakhs in only shares, or all such 1 lakh in only debentures like that. But what should you do? You have to diversify 10% in shares, 10% or 50% in shares. That should be on your based on your risk appetite. That means based upon your necessity. Investment portfolio is the set of investment vehicles formed by the investor seeking to realize its defined investment objectives. So this step addresses the issue of selectivity, timing, diversification. Selectivity, that means forecasting price movements of individual assets, which we call as micro forecasting. Timing, forecasting the price movements of a particular type of financial asset relative to fixed income, general securities in general. That is macro forecasting. And then the third one is diversification. What are the forming the investor's portfolio for decreasing the limiting or limiting the risk of investment. So diversification is used in the investment process to limit the risk of investment. This diversification can be two types: random diversification or objective diversification. Random diversification happens when several available financial assets are put to the portfolio at random. Objective diversification, which particularly everyone uses as a rational investor, happens when financial assets are selected to the portfolio following the investment objectives and using appropriate techniques of analysis. We discussed the fundamental analysis, technical analysis of each financial asset. The investment management theory is focused on issues of objective portfolio diversification, and professional investors follow settled investment objectives, then constructing and managing their portfolios. The next step is revision, portfolio revision. The periodic revision of early three stages of investment process. It is necessary to revise the investment portfolio because on the long run, investor with long-term investment horizon may change his or her obje- investment objectives, and this in turn means that currently held investors' portfolio may no longer be optimal and even contradict with the settled investment objectives. So, to say it with an example, portfolio revision, like let us say like, a person named Mr. X has been saving money and investing in mutual funds for his child's education. After getting his education, he the child has reached his post graduation. Now he wants to do job. So remember that child, the child is a elder son. Okay, elder son. See, since this elder son has already completed his education, the purpose of his father saving for education money, saving of money for education and investing in mutual funds has been served. So will he again save for his education? No, right? So what could be what probably what he does? He from now he will save for his retirement. See, the law here the process in this process that person has is not saving money for his child's education. Rather, he's saving money for he's investing money for his retirement, for his post-retirement life. Earlier, for what purpose he invested in the earlier? He invested for his child's education. But now, since child's education has been completed, he'll invest for that his retirement life, post-retirement life, planning his post-retirement life. So what the portfolio revision says, a particular person's investment objective will change at a certain time. So that's why portfolios has to be revised as and when required. And the last step, management and evaluation of portfolio performance. This involves determining the periodical management and evaluation of performance. Okay. Risk and return involved in the portfolio are considered prominent. Benchmarks are used. What is a benchmark actually? The performance of predetermined sets of assets obtained for comparison purposes. Simply, you keep your marks as your benchmark. So you keep that you will cross that target. So the simply even benchmark is the performance of predetermined set of assets obtained for comparison purpose. Here, in investment knowledge, benchmark is an index. So everyone will, so many of you might know about Sensex Nifty, like that. So benchmark is an index, stock index, bond index, like that. Final verdict. It is important to point out that investment management process is a continuing process influenced by changes in the investment environment and the changes in investment attitudes as well. The market globalization offers investors the new possibilities, but at the same time, investment management becomes more and more complicated with growing uncertainty.